off the one there today. And Hannah has one that's the chef's sheet pan. Oh, gosh, so get it, get it online, whatever, get Chef AJ's cookbook. But today, you're going to be entertained by them both cooking a Snickerdoodle cookies and peanut butter mousse. A la rock.
All right, thank you so much. So Hannah is helping me do this demo because even though I can make the recipes, what I cannot do is make them look pretty. And Hannah photographed all 157 recipes of my newest book, which is available at the back of the building, called Chef AJ's Sweet Indulgence. And she is the most talented food stylist, photographer, not just in the vegan world, but in the world. Because if I make it, it's going to taste good, but it ain't going to look good. So she's going to help me, and we're going to get started right away with the Snickerdoodles. Yours are already made. My recipes are like me, fast, cheap, and easy. So, what I've done here, and so did Hannah, is we did something called mise en place. And what mise en place is a French word that means everything in its place. And if you do this, I mean, the reason I'm using plastic bags is because I don't live here. But if I was doing this at home, it'd probably be in a dish or something like that. But if you measure out your ingredients for whatever you're making, for all your recipes, whether it's dinner or any meal, it's so much easier than running to your pantry and your refrigerator and things like that.
It's also helpful.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
It's like, if everyone can hear me. Can everyone hear me? Because I can't hear me. Hello? None of it.
How come they can't hear you?
Like, I'm in it. Okay. Yes. I just need to eat the microphone every time I speak. Yes. I was gonna say, mise en place is also helpful because if you're like me, you think you have a certain ingredient and you start making the thing and it's like, oh, I do not actually have the ingredient. So this way, you have everything together, and before you get started, you know, oh, I need to get this. So it's a helpful thing to get in the habit of.
It's the secret. You can pay $10,000 for culinary school or just do mise en place, because really, that's really all they teach you.
Yeah. And how to prep and cut things and work on knife skills, that's all it is.
So we are not using a knife today because I have no knife skills, but we are using a food processor fitted with the S-blade. This is a very nice Cuisinart. It looks to be about a 12 cup, I think. I love the Breville, no affiliation, but if you get a Breville, everything goes really quickly. So what we have here are oats that I have in my bag with cinnamon and vanilla powder. And cinnamon, it varies in quality, so you want to get a very good one. I'm not saying anything wrong with big box stores like Sam's Club or Costco, but sometimes the smaller brands like Local Spicery or Savory or Pensie's can just be even more delicious. And when you want something to be delicious, pay the few extra pennies, especially for the vanilla bean powder. It's so much better than vanilla extract. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grind these up into a flour-like consistency.
It's a really tight fit.
Oh my God, it's really tight.
It is.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Oh.
There we go. Yay. And so the sweetener that we're going to be using today are simply dates. It's a whole food, fiber, vitamins, mineral, phytochemicals, antioxidants, micronutrients. We're going to be using the fruit, the whole fruit, and nothing but the whole fruit.
Need my help?
Yeah. She's little, but she's strong, let me tell you.
This is my whole job right here.
Yeah. No, you're great. Thank you. And so I'm using the Decadent Nord dates just because they're cheaper. And they also tend to be a little bit drier. If you're using dates as a snack to eat, you might want to do them a jewel. Let's see if I can get this on this silk. Obviously, this is why they gave me Hannah. So this is going to probably run for a minute or two, just because I needed to make a cohesive kind of unit, almost a ball. So kind of what we're doing is making a Lara bar, but instead of using nuts or seeds, we're using oats. Because I love oats because they're much lower in calorie density. So if something is less fattening, I can eat more of it. It doesn't even time to talk if you want to tell me something. This is dead time.
I know. What should we tell them?
Okay. So while we're waiting for this, let's see. You know any vegan jokes?
None.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. If two vegans have an argument, Is it still called a beef? All right. Hi, how are ya? So this is the longest part. So we're not going to bake these, right?
No, we're not going to bake them. We're just going to show.
Yeah.
So we don't have an oven here today, so we cannot bake them. We're just going to show you what you would do when you're baking them and a few different ways you can use the dough. So the dough is the Snickerdoodle cookie, but it can also be the base of a tart crust or a thumbprint cookie.
We can just pass this back and forth. Yours is better. You don't even have to wear it. Just hold it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll pass it back and forth.
This is a little bit, yeah, this is a lot better. Okay.
We'll just have to get closer. It's
Aw.
ready now. So
Okay, excellent. So when I was styling these, I should have remembered I used an ice cream scoop, and that's the best way to measure out any cookie dough because you get consistent portions and it has, oh.
It needs you.
I totally need her.
It is wedged in.
Hannah makes these. Hannah makes things beautiful. I make them fast.
Right. So I was going to say, when I make these for the cookbook or at home for myself, I use an ice cream scoop because consistent portioning, and also it automatically gives you that nice rounded shape, so it's a lot easier to make them perfectly round. But we can make do with absolutely nothing. Hands are awesome. I will show you that.
You can wear it because you're going to do the next part.
Okay. So, oh god, now I'm really loud. Alright. For the book, these are really, really big cookies. So this would make like 6 cookies, and I love that. It makes it a small enough batch that I can make them in my air fryer, and it's really convenient. But just to demonstrate, I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. And I just round them in my hands. If they're too sticky, you can add more oats or oat flour, and you can moisten your hands so it'll stick to your hands, but it's like perfect consistency now. You get a nice little ball. You can eat them as balls like this, and also just as raw cookie dough. But for the cookies, you lightly flatten it to, there are no real rules, about yay high. I guess that's like a ½ inch. I don't know math, so you're on your own. And you just keep doing that for all of those, and it's an interesting baking arrangement because unlike other cookies, these actually, you bake them for 4 or 5 minutes.
And that no more, they're too hard.
And then you flip them and bake them on the other side is what's in the book.
Really?
Can you dehydrate them?
Yes, absolutely. And so I will just roll into the next cookie. So we could just do this, and they're a great Snickerdoodle. Or you can use your thumbs or like a wooden dowel if you have long nails or you just want to dig your hand into it and make a little indent in the center, like so. And you add your jam, and you're doing this before it's baked. And then you bake it with a little bit of jam in the center. And this is actually
That's my favorite recipe in the
too
book,
lovely.
the thumbprint cookie. But when I do it, I really make it go out really. You can hear me without a mic right now. I'm pretty loud, so you keep the mic. So when I do the thumbprint cookie, I like really spread it out because I want more jam. And you were mentioning you're a raw vegan for 25 years. Well, they do have raw oats now. They're sprouted oats. And so a raw foodist could have this recipe and either not bake it or dehydrate it. The truth is, the only reason I like to bake the recipe is because sometimes the dates are a little bit sticky, and I find they last longer if we bake them. Good. Are you vegan?
And so like that, you bake it like this, and you have a thumbprint cookie. And you can use any jam, you can use macerated berries. AJ has a few recipes for jam using chia seeds and no sugar, of course. Anything you like. The other thing that we could do is I have these little mini tart shells. You could use a full tart shell, anything with a removable bottom to get out more easily. And unlike...
Don't you wish you guys had a removable bottom sometimes? Yeah.
Unlike other baking recipes where you need to grease it, I don't grease these. And you can either bake it or have it raw. And I like having it raw because when it's frozen, it pops out really easily. but just to demonstrate that, I just take a random lump. I don't measure this out. We just figure out how much it takes to fill it, and you sort of press it into the bottom. I know you can't really see this, but please believe me. And then I add a little bit more to work it up the sides.
One of the things about this dough is most crusts, this is delicious. Most crusts are flour, Crisco, oil, sugar, salt. This is actual food. And the thing is, you know when it's ready, when it will form a ball and you can break the ball in half. So you can roll them. Hey, would you like a ball? You help. Want a ball? Can you catch? Ready to catch? You only got one hand. You sure you want to do that? All right, here we go. Told you not to use one hand. 5-second rule, people, come on. You guys are going to have to start.
Who else wants to try? Who's braver?
2 hands. So Hannah's doing that in a beautiful mold. But have you ever done it freeform?
I haven't, actually.
So, because I'm not like perfectionist, I'm like, get this over with. You can make this freeform. Roll it in a ball, press it out, and just make the lip. See what I'm doing? Yeah. So that's how I do it. It's never as beautiful as Hannah, but it's the quick way to do it.
And so I've got my tart shell form. If I was really making this for photos, I would go over it with the moistened hands and like smooth out the edges, make it perfect and even. But it's not perfect. We're not perfect. Nice.
Yeah. Want to try again? Oh, you want me?
And then I'm just filling this with some fresh berries. Fresh berries always make everything gorgeous instantly.
I never thought about doing jam with berries.
Yeah, it's a good combination because then you get the freshness and then the richness.
If you had missed that in the front row, I was gonna say.
We're going home right now.
So in the past, people had like recipes laid out. Have like.
We will afterwards at the end. And then
or you can buy my book with all the 157.
See,
that's beautiful.
I think I can get it out. Yes.
Yeah.
Like so. Thank you.
I feel like if you can have the time to bake it for 5 minutes before, it does.
It's nice. Yeah, it firms up. It's less sticky. And the bottom is out of that.
You know what's neat is even though it doesn't look that great, we can almost put this in the mold now and figure it out.
I don't know if I can get the bottom off that easily. It's gonna mush.
Hey, you know what would be good in here is the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so on to the second recipe.
There we go.
So we're going to be making a peanut butter mousse. It's my husband's favorite recipe in the book. But before that, I'm going to make some chocolate crumbs that are very nice as a sprinkle on the mousse. It's the same principle of what we did before, but we're going to use some different ingredients. Instead of oats, we're going to be using walnuts. But if you want to lower the fat and the calorie density, you could use oats in this. So this is already oats and walnuts and cocoa powder.
I'm sorry? Not yet.
So I'm going to do what I did with the oats. I'm going to grind these into a flour-like consistency. I don't want to over-process or it'll become a nut butter. Why am I so weak? Because I'm vegan, right?
This is my job.
Yeah.
This is why you hired me.
So, 12 ounces. This is double the amount of dates because it was double the amount of nuts. So we're going to do the same thing. And while that's happening, if there's anything brilliant you want to say.
Oh no, maybe you should have a microphone. I'm not that brilliant.
Get a Breville. That's my advice. It's expensive, but Breville doesn't do this. Do you have a Breville?
I think I have a Cuisinart.
Wow. Not quite.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Or don't get a Breville, get a me, apparently.
Should we fill this with some? You want to? Can you make
More
it?
jam?
Can you make it pretty?
I can try.
Should probably give that to the volunteers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I love about the thumbprint cookies, there's no sugar in my book, no oil, no salt, everything's vegan. Actually, only 2 recipes have flour. But what's fun about the thumbprint cookies is you can get jam in every flavor now without sugar. All the stores sell it, or you can make your own.
We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, probably you can't hear me because the food processor is running. Oh, shoot! I forgot to stop this.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. So what I'm trying to do is, with the last recipe, I was trying to make everything stick together, but for this, I want the crumbs to sprinkle on the mousse. So we're going to take some aside. Now these crumbs are delicious, like on banana ice cream, on any kind of vegan ice cream. On fruit, and you can make vanilla crumbs too. So what do you think? Is this about enough crumbs?
I think it's good, yeah.
Okay. So 2 recipes in 1. We've got the crumbs, which we're going to top your mousse with, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this roll in a little bit more, and now you have another recipe. We have brownies. These are, excuse me, miss, you said you were raw vegan for 25 years. This is raw vegan recipe right here. And, well, it's not because I'm using Hershey's cocoa powder, but if you made it with raw cacao powder, this would be raw. And so you can see when the food processor starts to slow down, you know it's ready. And the balls can form. How can someone so small be so mighty? So, you can make this into a crust, and you know what I'll do is by pouring this into the bowl, we can have the food processor ready to make the mousse, the peanut butter mousse, and it doesn't have to be perfectly clean. And what we can do is we can press this into a pie crust and put fresh fruit on top. You can press it into a pan for brownies, or we can just do what we're doing, make it into little balls, and if I see any hands, I throw it.
Oh, that counts.
Did it break apart? I'll push them together. Sorry. No, wait here. Let me get you a better one. Yeah. Nobody else, huh? There we go.
You want to help me make them?
Yeah. So you can get started on this.
Is
Excuse me, sir.
ready?
I'll bet you another one. Don't worry. I can't believe the men. You guys are usually such good catchers. Okay, I'm sorry, but 2 is my limit. Are they that hard to catch? Usually, I mean, I've thrown these in audiences of 400 and they've caught them.
Oh.
Man, I don't know what it is about San Francisco. I've done this in so many cities around the world. I've never seen.
The front row is catching them really good. The front row is catching. Oh, you ready for a long? Look, see, he's serious. He's standing up, and he caught it.
There you go.
Yay! And he gave it away. That was so nice. We're gonna give you no, I'll give you your own. The fact that you gave it away, you should get a second one. Hi. Even Hannah rolls them perfectly.
No, mine are still lumpy. I'm going quick.
All right. Just dazed cocoa powder and walnuts and vanilla powder. Nobody else? Okay. See, isn't it easier when you use 2 hands? I know. Okay, I'll make them. Lisa, you want a ball?
You got it.
Got it. All right. See, you're the guys that like free stuff. Nobody else? You got it? All right.
I could hand it to you.
All right.
We got a few more. Last one. All right.
Unless you want to take mine.
Okay. All right, so now our last recipe is the peanut butter mousse. And since the chocolate crumbs are going on it, it's okay, we're not going to clean the food processor. So, we're using tofu. And both Hannah and I are very upset that the company changed the size of their box from 12.2 to 10.3. I am not rewriting my recipes.
No. So
this one is not organic, but they do have organic.
So for this specific recipe, I don't think anyone going to hear me. Okay.
Here you go. We can just carry it back.
I mean, my hands are kind of greasy now, but anyway. For this specific recipe, it's not as finicky as others that use the tofu. You just need to be aware and calibrate. So I'd use slightly less peanut butter, slightly less date syrup, so it's not as liquidy because you have slightly less tofu. And just like play with it, and you can adjust to taste as well.
What kind of cream cheese is this? I've never seen this brand.
This is Violife cream cheese. I love Violife. I think they do some of the best everyday cheeses. Their Parmesan is amazing if you have not had. Their feta. Anyway, I could list all their products. The cream cheese is very good, and I also really like their block because unlike the tub cream cheeses, it's a lot firmer, so it's a lot better for baking. There's less water in it.
Nice. I've never seen it. Oh, what's this product? Tell me. You can tell it.
So this is date syrup, and it's really exactly the same thing we're using as whole dates, just really, really well pureed.
Measuring cup?
We do not.
We don't have a measuring cup.
It's 1 cup of each. We don't have a measuring cup, but when you do this
For the hand wash, can I just dip my hands in? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Anybody that didn't get them all at once one?
Not last year.
You can do this with almond butter. It's really good as well.
Nope. Yep. I live in Austin, so I only come in for this.
Anybody want a teeny weeny bar?
Now my hands are greasy and it's like getting a lot harder. There we go.
So we're just going to puree this until creamy. It takes literally seconds. And what I like to do is get a trifle bowl because we have a vegan potluck every month. There's about 7,000 vegans in my community. That's why I moved to where I live. And I get a trifle bowl and I layer it with the crumbs, the mousse, bananas, crumbs, mousse, bananas. And that was it. You can see how easy these recipes are. They took no time at all. Should we taste it or should you taste it?
I think it should be. Oh,
Sure,
should
it's right.
blend
I
it
do this
again
a lot,
though.
so. Yeah, so Hannah is just scraping down the sides just to get all the tofu nice and creamy.
I would want to blend it one more time because it's not fully blended.
Yeah, she wants to blend it again, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's not all going to get blended. I
You
don't
could
think.
even just sprinkle a couple of crumbs on this tart if you want.
We don't need to use all the berries. I kind of want to keep them.
Oh, she wants to keep them? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my guess, this could be just a large thumbprint cookie then.
Yeah.
It'd be great if we could bake it. I'll be signing books from 2:15 to 3 o'clock at the book signing table. And I'd be doing it even if you're not interested.
Okay.
Leave it 3. So Hannah's going to show you something
Yes.
beautiful.
So you could absolutely just spoon these in a cup or a nice little glass. That's lovely. What I like to do is I use a piping bag because it just makes it look pretty instantly. And I have an actual piping bag, but when I'm feeling really lazy or cheap, I just get a piping tip and I put it on a plastic bag, a plastic Ziploc bag, doesn't matter. It works perfectly. And so I have this folded over, so it's not going to make a mess all over the sides. It makes it a little bit easier to fill. And we are going to fill it up. So it's not going to be the most beautiful swirl. It would be easier if it had time to sit and chill and thicken a bit. So it's still going to be a little bit loose. And you get the idea. Oops. Can you come in closer?
Oh, sorry. Smells really good.
Oop. So it's a little bit drippy, but I'm just gonna squeeze it out and around.
That's still more beautiful than anything I would have ever done. Tofu, cream cheese. Tofu, cream cheese, peanut butter, date syrup, and vanilla powder. That's it. That's 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 teaspoon. That looks... It is in the book. Everything we made today is in Sweet Indulgence, plus everything we made today is in my new book, Sweet Indulgence, plus 154 other recipes.
Anytime we fill this.
And then you can serve it as is, or just sprinkle a few crumbs on the top. Of course, that takes away the prettiness. Should we put the crumbs on the bottom?
No, I think it looks nice on top.
Okay. If we had a little banana, we'd put that in too.
I know.
If you ever heard of the dessert called dirt, this is like they take Oreo cookies and they crumble this. This was supposed to be like that. There are lots of raw, there's probably 20 or so raw recipes in the book, and some of them can be made raw simply by using the oats that are considered raw. Hershey's is pretty good for the price. I gotta tell you, if money is no object, my favorite cocoa powder is called Valrhona, but it's $25 a pound. This is probably about $5, even less at Walmart. And Hershey's also has another one called Special Dark. It's actually really good. So you don't have to get the most expensive.
I know, there's nothing I can
But I do recommend using dates over sugar. If you want to know why sugar is bad, Dr. Alan Goldhammer should be speaking soon, and he can explain that to you. He is the creator of the SOS-free vegan diet. No sugar, no oil, no salt, no fun. But he helps people with all kinds of lifestyle diseases get healthy. And he's pretty funny.
Also, I think that this is pretty fun, quite frankly.
Dessert's really fun. How do you know if somebody is vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. There we go. So what I do when I need
Thank you.
that in a recipe like tofu is I use avocado. Yeah. So that works really well, especially like in chocolate mousses that would normally have tofu and chocolate. I just use avocado. So is that all we have, huh?
That's all we got.
So we got enough recipes. There we go.
Yeah, and the time is perfect.
Any questions for
That was a
either
half hour.
Hannah or myself? Yeah. Yes, the cookies are, well, okay, yes and no. So in other words, my kitchen is not a dedicated gluten-free kitchen, although I'm gluten-free, so I can't imagine there's any gluten in my house. But you know with oats are not inherently containing gluten, but depending on where they're sourced. So how sensitive you are, it depends. But I would say yes, everything is gluten-free. Yeah. I do use gluten-free oats, yeah. But I just keep in mind that, you know, I would hate for something to happen. Yes, I mean, I do because I am. All right, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Enjoy the samples. We gotta do a routine together.
Excellent, you guys.
Thank you. And thank you so much for helping.